So, you feeling lucky, punk?
Holy mackerel!
CRY MACHO is a new film directed by Clint Eastwood. Also, is produced by Clint Eastwood, starring Clint Eastwood. Woo! CRY MACHO. Clint Eastwood plays a one-time rodeo star and washed-up horse breeder in 1978. He takes the job from an ex-boss to bring the man's young son home and away from his alcoholic mom. On their way from Mexico, on their back way to Texas, this journey the horseman may find his own sense of redemption, teaching the young boy what it means to be a good man. And we have the movie CRY MACHO. CRY MACHO, you follow this character named Michael, and he goes on this journey to retrieve the son that his ex-boss requested him to bring back to Texas past the border. So he does that, and then we got this personal journey between man and little young boy, and we pretty much have our movie, CRY MACHO. And watching this movie, this is a different type of film for others. I feel like Clint Eastwood gave out a decent performance as Michael, and there are some decent scenes in this movie that you can find yourself enjoying. This is like a slow, reserved old man's film. Like, it has like this character of Miko, he has a lot of grit and experience to him, and there are some scenes of things happening. There's some scenes where Clint Eastwood's character Miko interacts with Waldo Minnett's character Raft. He teaches him about the importance of life, and in his Clint Eastwood type of way, and it's there. They're just talking. It's just happening with the score. When I was watching this movie, I found myself a little bit bored, and I tried to find my ways to be captivated within the story, but I wasn't really captivated in the story. You have a hard time watching this movie because of how the movie was structured. This film is a slow burn, equivalent to like a turtle racing a snail. Or a good way to describe this movie, this is an old man's movie, a type of movie you can watch with your grandparents in a retirement home. And then afterwards, you just go outside and do what you do, and you kind of forget what ever happened. Because when y'all was watching this movie, there really wasn't a lot of things happening. There hardly was any action sequences. There was an action sequence, but there was like a punch that Clint Eastwood's character did, but the thing with Clint Eastwood's character Miko, you can actually see the age on the screen. There was a scene in this movie where you noticed that this man was aging. He's 91 years old, man. He picked up the cup in a scene, and his hand was shaking, and then the camera did a quick cut, so therefore the audience won't notice the shaking. The outside characters of Waldo Minette, he plays a character named Roth. I feel like this character, this young boy, he is traveling with Clint Eastwood throughout the way, and all the way down to Texas, and he does some bad things, and Clint Eastwood is supposed to break down his own humanity and project it onto this man, so therefore he can teach him about the importance of life and understand what it means to be a good man. And this was a movie you have seen before. This is a story you haven't seen before. It has a simple plot, simple premise, simple everything. There wasn't much characterization. There's just a lot of things, a lot of scenes happening, and just things happening. And also the score didn't help either. The score literally almost put me to sleep. This movie is just a slow, reserved old man's film. And I hardly remember the characters' names. I had to look closely at the end credits just to remember the characters' names. But the most memorable character in this whole entire movie is Macho. And Macho is a chicken. But CRY MACHO is an old man's film. It's one of the weaker performances of Clint Eastwood. Not the best. He took a step back. And this film wasn't hardly directed stylistically or anything. It was just just there. The film didn't justify its existence. I felt like I was just watching an old documentary of an old man. Like I said, Cry Macho is a film you can watch with your grandparents in a retirement home. So I'm going to give Cry Macho a Val Kilmer Batman. If you're a Clint Eastwood fan, this is a film for you. But no. I was bored out my mind. There was hardly anything interesting happening. The score didn't help. I found myself almost falling asleep. But the most interesting character was the chicken. Because the title of the movie is The Chicken. Macho, so. Bing.